5:10 a.m. Your alarm goes off. You kill it before the second ring. 17 years and you've never once let it hit a third. You make coffee in the dark so you don't wake the house. You drive to the warehouse on Route 9. Same lot, same door, same badge scanner that's beeped the same green light 11,000 times. Your phone sits in your back pocket. Last night it quietly crossed a line your paycheck never could reach. You don't know it yet. 38 years old, standing at a conveyor belt with your name on a schedule board, completely free to walk out that door right now. You don't. You clock in. Money doesn't care that you're free. It only cares if you show up. It started with $25, not much, a single shift's tips, the kind of money your mother would have called nothing. You're 21, a gas station off Route 9. Your mother's behind the counter, same shift she's worked for 19 years straight. She rings up a customer with one hand, the other holds a coffee that went cold 2 hours ago. You ask her when she's going to quit. She doesn't look up. 20 more years, maybe. You laugh like it's a joke. It isn't. That night you open an app on your phone. $25 that was supposed to become a phone case. You stare at the button longer than you'll ever admit. You press confirm. Nothing happens, no sound, no message telling you this matters. Just a smaller number sitting where a slightly bigger one used to be. 24, still the warehouse, $16 an hour, $1,900 a month after taxes. Rent takes its share first, the car takes its share next. The phone bill takes what's left, and there's never anything left after that. You put in $40 every payday anyway. You don't tell a single person. What would you even say? I put $40 into something. The account creeps to $2,100. You check it on your 15-minute break. You check it again before bed. It never moves fast enough to feel real. You keep going anyway. 27. A line appears in the app you've never seen before. Dividend received. $14. $14 won't cover your lunch. But you didn't lift one box to earn it. You were asleep when it landed. That's the first dollar in your entire life that arrived without costing you a piece of your body. You don't tell your mother. She'd ask if you're gambling. You're not. You just don't have the words for it yet. 29. It drops. 11 straight days. $3,000 gone from a number you spent 6 years slowly building. Dollar by dollar, break by break. You sit in the parking lot before your shift, thumb hovering over cell. One tap and the bleeding stops. You don't tap it. Not because you're brave, because 6 years cannot be for nothing. Monday the transfer runs anyway. It doesn't check the news. It doesn't ask how you slept. It doesn't care that you almost quit on it. It just buys. It was never waiting on your permission. Tuesday morning the number is back where it was. Not because you did anything. Because you didn't. 31. Your mother hands in her name tag on a Tuesday like it's any other shift. No cake, no speech. You follow her to the car. The number in your pocket is loud enough now that you almost say it. You don't. 34. Sunday dinner. Her kitchen still smells like the same detergent it always has. She's telling a story about a customer from 20 years ago. Some man who tried to pay for gas with a jar of quarters. She laughs before she even finishes it. She always does that. You have $61,000 sitting in an account she doesn't know exists. You say nothing. It's too big to explain over pot roast. You watch her hands while she talks. Same hands that counted change for 19 years. Steady, quick, used to small numbers moving fast. Yours are steady too now, just moving slower, quieter, in a direction she can't see. 35. A co-worker at the warehouse gets a raise. 50 cents an hour. He buys everyone donuts. You eat one and say congratulations and mean it. You don't tell him that 50 cents an hour is roughly what your account made while you were both standing there eating donuts. You've learned by now, this isn't a bragging thing, it's a quiet thing. It only works if you leave it alone. Some money grows loud enough to talk about. Yours is still growing quiet enough to hide. 36. A spreadsheet on your kitchen table at midnight. 2 columns. What the job pays you. What the money pays you. You didn't build the spreadsheet to prove anything. You built it because you couldn't sleep, and the number in your head kept changing shape every time you tried to guess it. The gap between the 2 columns is closing. Not fast. Just steadily. The way water finds the lowest point in a floor without anyone noticing until the whole room is wet. You stare at it long enough that the numbers stop looking like numbers and start looking like a countdown you didn't know you'd started. 37. Your mother asks if you're doing okay for money. Not worried, just checking. The way she's checked every year since you moved out. You say you're fine. It's the truth. It's also the smallest possible version of the truth you could hand her. She says good and means it, and goes back to her crossword. You don't have the next word yet, so fine stays the answer. That winter, the account crosses a number you'd written on a sticky note 11 years earlier and forgotten about. You find it in an old wallet while cleaning out a drawer. The number on the note is smaller than what's actually in the account now. You didn't just hit the goal. You walked past it a while ago without noticing, the same way you walk past the gas station your mother used to work at without slowing down anymore. Goals don't announce themselves when you pass them. They just stop being ahead of you. You sit on the floor of your apartment holding a faded sticky note and a phone with a bigger number on it, and you don't feel what you thought you'd feel. You feel tired, the good kind, the kind that comes from finally putting something down. You put the sticky note back in the wallet instead of throwing it away. 11 years ago, that number felt impossible. Some part of you still wants proof it was. 38 is a few months away now. You don't know it yet, but that's the year everything quietly flips. A Thursday. 3 trucks unloaded before lunch. Nothing about the day says it's the day. 11 p.m. Kitchen table. You open the spreadsheet to check something else entirely, some unrelated bill. It opens where it always opens. What the job paid you this year? $43,000. What the money paid you this year? $46,800. You read it once. You click into the cell. You check the formula. You type the numbers out again yourself by hand, like a man who doesn't trust a machine to tell him something this big. Same number. You sit back in the chair. Nothing happens. No sound. No screen telling you that this mattered. 17 years ago, you pressed confirm on $25 and felt nothing. You just did it again. The biggest moments of your life keep arriving without music. You get up. You open the fridge. You stand there in the light with the door open. You're not hungry. You just don't know what else to do with your body. You say it out loud to the empty kitchen. Mum. The kitchen doesn't say anything back. Saturday, her porch. She's shelling peas into a bowl the way she always has, hands needing a job even when she doesn't. You practice the sentence the whole drive over, still comes out sideways. I need to tell you something. She doesn't stop shelling peas. Okay. The money I put away. It's making more than my paycheck now. Her hands stop. She looks at you the way she looked at you the day you got the warehouse job. Not surprised. Careful. How much more? $3,800 more this year. She sets the bowl down. Are you all right? Not how much. Not how. Just, are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. She nods, picks the bowl back up. What are you going to do with it? You don't have an answer. 17 years, and that's the one question you never asked yourself. I don't know. She nods again, like that's a perfectly good answer. Like maybe it is. You sit with her another hour. She shells the rest of the peas. She doesn't bring it up again, doesn't reach for her phone to calculate anything. She just lets it sit there between you, the way she's let every hard thing sit there her whole life, without poking at it. Before you leave, she hands you a bag of tomatoes from her garden, like nothing happened at all. You take them. You don't correct her. 2 weeks later, you find out she told the neighbor her kid does something smart with money now. Not the number, just that. Some things are worth more once you stop needing anyone to be impressed by them. Monday, 5:10 a.m. Alarm goes off. You kill it before the second ring. You drive to the warehouse on Route 9. Same lot, same door, same badge scan. A kid on your line, 22, asks if the job ever gets easier. You tell him no. He asks why you're still smiling about it. You don't answer that one either. $46,800 didn't buy you a way out. It bought you a way to stay in, on your own terms instead of the job's. Somewhere right now, someone is 21, behind a counter, ringing up a stranger with one hand and holding a cold coffee with the other. They think this is just a shift. It's actually the first $25. They just don't know it yet.